What's going on there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. I'm back at it again for a brand new review for American Crime Stories, The People versus O.J. Simpson. This is the second episode. Coming off the first episode, I mean, it was some strong performances, specifically by Sarah Paulson that played Marcia Clark. Even like John Travolta playing Robert Shapiro. And even like Courtney B. Vance is playing Johnny Cochran, he did a really good job with it. But the thing about this episode, this is the most iconic moment of the beginning stages of his whole process of prosecution of O.J. Simpson, is the Bronco. Basically the Bronco chase. And even like the whole prospect of the Bronco. Just want to let y'all know, before I go into any media of this, I'm going to take my time with this. But it's going to be a lot of spoilers. So just know that ahead of time. Definitely, this is probably one of the better episodes I've seen on TV in a long time. There were certain gripes and grumbles that I had about it, but I just want to let y'all know off the bat to please take this, put it in your watch later, and come back to it, because this was something you do not want to miss. But the thing that I said, moving segue into the Broncos, it's supposed to be one Bronco that has nothing but blood in it, and then another Bronco is what they're driving. It's like, why were there two specific Broncos? Why was it that, you know, one of his best friends or another player actually had a different Bronco? And that's the thing. But the meat of this episode was John, like, how do I put it? When they were in the Bronco, when they were outside the Bronco, when they were in the house, when they were even like moving, there was never a point that Cuba Gooding Jr. was not acting to perfection. This man was pouring his blood, sweat, and tears into this performance. And I've actually gone through some of the classified O.J. Simpson tapes and hearing some of the dialogue of what happened in transition while he was in the Bronco, when he was actually getting interviewed, and some of the snug remarks and stuff like that he was saying. It led me to believe a lot more different things on his psychological imbalance. Not going into debate whether or not he did it or not, but there's definitely some stuff going on. I don't know if y'all looked at the movie Concussion, the actual doctor that found that there were different chemical imbalances from blunt force trauma, and he might have been a prospect from this, because listening to Cuba Gooding Jr. play this role to perfection based on account from telephone calls that were happening, eyewitness accounts, and even just his mental state at the time, it's like, it's definitely, he was gone. He was gone. And the thing about it is that Cuba destroyed this, y'all. Like, there's no reason why I wouldn't believe this man, just from this episode alone. His performance drove it to being at least a 10 out of 10 for me. And I didn't even think that I would actually go this far. The only thing that I would say that would maybe detract it to a 9.5 is the moment where Robert Kardashian, and oh my gosh, dude, what is the man's name? I forget his name for some reason. David Schwimmer, that plays the role of Robert Kardashian, he does some amazing acting as well. Because it even starts off with him reading the word and praying for OJ, and like, you can tell the emotional turmoil that goes through him. I didn't know that this man suffered through some serious physical imbalances. I don't know if it was a byproduct of the stress of this whole situation or what, but I can definitely see the toll starting to teeter on his behalf. And it's like, there was a moment where he had to go into OJ's house and tell the family, look, from what my knowledge is right now, from what we think, he's dead. And I'm sorry. And like, they just broke down. And like, he was so broken before he even got in there. Like, he was in the car. There was a moment when he was in the car. There was no dialogue. There was no noise. It was just him freaking out and breaking down. And like, he acted well. But I'm saying this, that Cuba deserves, from this episode alone, to be nominated for Emmy and a Golden Globe. Like, I've never seen somebody go all in it. One of the things I'll say is that Robert Shapiro, that plays by John Travolta, is like, he plays more of a heel in this situation, like, because I didn't know what point the transition came to Johnny Cochran being the representative. But I'm seeing there's one sequence where he was just kind of like teetering basically, and it's like, I can't believe OJ did this. He went on kind of covering his own bases, and Johnny Cochran, while he was talking to his up and comings that he was training, he's like, you never, no matter what, like, turn on your client basically. And I was like, okay, he's gonna start sniping for this, because one, this is huge. But the moment that I actually saw the telebroadcaster say, like, look, I know these are NBA finals, but cut the feed and go to OJ. I was like, and that's why I know I was about, 8 or 7 years old when this was actually going on. And I actually remember it. Now I know why, because there was not one station that didn't cover this. Even to the point, I would say this, even though I knew what was going to happen, the way that they shot this and build up the tension and build up the performances, the moment that he actually got close to the house, I was like, yo, is he really gonna make this? Like, it was like, I think that the only thing that faults this show is that this is not fiction. So they can't go as far as they could, but it's like that tension and like heightened emotion that I kind of felt when he was about to get out of the car and transitioned into the house. I was like, man, anything could go. And even there was this one moment, right, where Cuba like had told, and by the way, oh my gosh, like old dude from the Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, that plays Al Crawlings, he did a bang up job as well, because I remember those phone calls that actually were basically documented and put on the black box and whatnot, and he did those to perfection from the standpoint of the dialogue, the tone, just like, was he doing this for a show? Like, you just don't know, but you know he's immediately freaking out about the whole entire situation, and Jamal crushed it. Even trying to get into the house was just, it was hard to watch, and it was amazing television. It's crazy that I'm getting entertained by something like this, specifically from the subject matter. It shouldn't be focal point on OJ, but no matter what, it circles around this unfortunately terrible tragedy that befall two individuals. And it was a good episode. Like, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I was gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10 because these Kardashian kids, they were like, Kardashian, and I was like, yo, why are you publicly broadcasting this? It's like, I think between this episode and last episode, those were the down moments when the other Kardashians kind of got involved in it, and I was like, even Selma Blair when she was kind of up. We'll see what happens in the next episode, but I can tell you this was an amazing episode. It was high stakes, high tension, acted perfectly. I think Sarah Paulsman wasn't in this one as much. I don't like Marcia eventually because of just the way that her character is. It's just like she's this one gun with this whole entire thing, regardless of, you know, he did it or not. Like, it's definitely some stuff going on under the scenes from everywhere. And it's like, it begs the question is, was this calculated or not? And I'll leave y'all with that. I enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to check out the third episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed my review. Keep it locked, JVS. We ain't gonna stop. Deuces, everybody.